woke up the entire northern Alabama.
Good evening and welcome here to Turner Stadium here on the campus of Taylor University for tonight's men's soccer matchup between the Trolls of Trinity Christian and the Trojans of Taylor University. Taylor comes in 0-1-0 on the year after falling 3-2 to St. Francis of Illinois this past Saturday. They were able to get an equalizing tally on Charbel Sulaco's second goal of his career on a set-piece header from freshman Owen Hardy. But then it would be all St. Francis of Illinois in the second half. They scored the only goals of that second half, or first two goals of the second half, to go up 3-1. Taylor would get a equalizing tally on a nice little run of play spot on the goal from Josiah Whelan to draw them to within one. But that would be as close as TU would get. Had a chance to catch up with the head coach of the Trojans, Gary Ross, before tonight's contest.
3-2. Catching up with the head coach of the Taylor men's soccer team, Gary Ross, before their second home game of the season. Gary, a tough one for your team on Saturday night. Got that late goal to draw you to within one. What have you guys worked on in training this week to get ready for your second game of the year, the second one here at home?
Yeah, a lot of film watching. I mean, a lot of diagnosis as to figure out sort of what the problems were. We had sort of set some targeted aims in terms of shots. We wanted total and shots on goal, and we actually were really close on some of those. And the statistics actually kind of bore out a little bit more positively than maybe what we would have anticipated. But we have some changes in the works to get some guys up in the attack a little bit more and create a little bit more dangerous opportunities for us. I think at the end of the day, it was a sort of a typical first game. I mean, you make some dumb mistakes. We had a set piece that we just didn't get right in front of like we should have. Had we done that, there's no goal, right? And so, we could have done that. We didn't. But, at the end of the day, you learn, you live, and you move on, man.
You played a lot of guys in that first contest, in the one that counted. Same thing for the game at Robert Morris in the one that was postponed because of the weather. And a lot of young guys played, particularly a good number of freshmen. How do you think your young guys have fared, both the guys that are in their first year here and guys that maybe played a little bit just a year ago?
Yeah, you nailed it, right? I mean, we're young. We have even some of our older guys who've been around for a while have not gotten, tons and tons of minutes. So there's a lot of sort of newness happening, a lot of novelty. I think the freshmen did just fine. I thought Owen Hardy had a fantastic game. We'd thrown him at outside back, and he'd never really played outside back. Maybe once or twice in his life for a little bit, but not a lot. So, guys like he and I thought Cole Gilliam played pretty well the other night as well. Juan Alberghetti actually had a good game until he got hurt. Then Dayhoff came in, who was one of our younger guys who didn't play a whole lot last year. He's a sophomore. Had a really good first half to kind of fill in for him. And so, I think there were things that we saw that we liked that kind of surprised us a little bit, and there were some things we had to fix. It's like, welcome to the beginning of a season. Any year it's like that, no matter how veteran or how young your team is. So.
Last thing as we talk with Taylor men's soccer head coach Gary Ross, a familiar face for you over on the other sideline tonight. How fun is that for you? Obviously, the head coach of Spring Arbor, a former teammate or a former player of yours, former coach as well. What's it like to see these guys that have represented Taylor on the field as a player go into coaching, and even though they're on a different sideline?
Yeah, no, it's a great honor, I think. I mean, the perhaps the biggest obstacle is that they know me pretty well, right? So. They probably know exactly what I'm telling our guys in the locker room and whatnot. So we're trying to throw some different things this year at some guys that I used to coach with and play, who played for me. But honestly, it's one of the greatest. I think it's one of the greatest honors that you can have as a coach is when some of your former players go off and coach their own deal and try to, and they've been very successful, all of them who've gone off to do that. So I feel humbled by it. Honestly, it's just and Sally's a great guy and really good coach, and so I'm excited for him. It's good.
Gary, thanks for the time and good luck tonight.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Yep.
As a Champions of Character institution.
That is the head coach of the Trojans, Gary Ross. We'll take a break, come back after we pause for the national anthem. When we come back, it's time for the kickoff between Trinity Christian and the Taylor Trojans here as men's soccer coverage continues on the Trojan Sports Network.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics.
It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at TaylorCampusStore.com. Matthias Mueller gets the start in the goal tonight for Trinity Christian. He's a 5'11 sophomore out of Germany. Getting the start for Taylor is number 0. He's a 6'2 junior, 175 pounds from Indianapolis, Indiana. His name is Luke Williams. Taylor in the home white jerseys, purple shorts. Trinity Christian in the dark colored uniforms, a dark blue and purple mix with white numbers and the same colored socks on the shorts. A light rain is starting to fall from overhead. As temperatures hover here in the high 70s as play begins tonight. It was in the 80s when things started today, but we've got a lot of rain roll through the area that has cooled things off. It's going to be cool tomorrow. It's going to be cool Thursday. It's going to be cool Friday. And then the heat picks back up on the weekend right in time when everybody else starts to move back in. McBride holds on the far side. This is James McBride getting the second start of the season. And the ball dribbled out of bounds, and it will go back to Trinity Christian. Eric Sally, the head coach for the Trolls. He is a 2012 Taylor University graduate, played here for head coach Gary Ross. Ross in his 15th season leading the Trojans. TCC goes and attacks the goal to our left. Taylor attacks the goal to our right. Collado dribbling in. It's deflected out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for Trinity Christian on the far side of the field. As some of the students who have moved in here tonight are starting to make their way down into the stands down below us.
goal scored by number 7, Jeremiah Rader.
So Jeremiah Rader gets his first goal of the season. The senior who was a holding midfielder a year ago gets back into a little bit more of an offensive mindset here in 2018, and he gives Taylor not only the first lead of the night, their first lead of the season. They were down 1-0 and then 4-0 in that game with Robert Morris that started the season. But now here's TCC trying to counter. Alberghetti will swing this one out of the way. Samoas, a right-footed in, headed out of there by Andrew Johnson of Taylor, and the goal scorer Rader pouncing it on it near side. Will dink one around to Gilliam in front of his own bench, but he can't handle the bouncing ball that rolls out. It'll be a throw-in by Coletto here of Trinity Christian down in front of the Taylor bench. 1-0 Taylor lead, less than 4 minutes into this first half of play. A good start for the boys. Nice little cheeky overrun there by Rader. Hardy will scoop it up, slides, and will work it back into Andrew Johnson. Salako to Hardy. And then a right foot back to Salako in the defensive half. Taylor attacks the goal to our right. They're in white uniforms with purple shoulders, purple stripes on those white jerseys and purple numbers. And they have purple shorts and white socks. James McBride will throw it into Rader. He's the only goal scorer of the night so far for TU, as now Alberghetti will hold just back behind midfield. He'll play it back to Salako. Taylor won 5 games at home a year ago, won 6 games in total. Trinity Christian won just 3 of their 18 contests, tying 1 contest. Some pressure by Taylor here in their offensive half, and then the Trolls will get it out of there. Johnson to the middle of the field as Gilliam will hustle after it. Playing it back, and this one rolls all the way back to the keeper in Mueller. Colotto to Trueblood, and then back to Colotto. Here's Alberghetti pressing it forward, but then he'll be whistled for the fouls. He takes, looks like Wesley Trueblood's legs out from underneath him, actually make that Alejandro Sotelo. First foul called against TU here tonight. They have a 1-0 lead, just about 6 minutes into this opening half. Long ball to the far side of the field, too far over the head of its intended target. That's number 12, Davi Simoes. Hardy comes over, gets some instruction from his head coach, Gary Ross. Now he receives a long pass on the near side, just clicks off of his heel a little bit, pushed from behind, and there's a foul called against Gabriel Soler of Trinity Christian. So a foul to either side. Taylor has a 1-0 lead on the only shot so far of the contest. Hardy, the one who was shoved to the turf, will take this free kick. Salako circling behind the TCC defense. Hardy readies. Right foot. And that one wide right of the frame, and it goes out of play. Goal kick upcoming for Trinity Christian as they look for their first shot of the night. They trail 1-0 just about 7 minutes into half one. A little bit of light rain still falling down overhead. Looks like it might have actually gotten out of here. The fan sitting across from us, clad in orange, which is not the color of either team playing tonight, but either way, they're sitting in the visiting stands across from us. They did have an umbrella up earlier. Josiah Whelan taken down, still trying to gather his bearings a little bit. Taylor will hold in the defensive half and allow Whelan to get back to his feet. We see the folks across from us, the 2 folks just sitting over there by their lonesome in those visiting stands. They have taken their umbrella down, so it looks like the very soft rain that was here earlier has now gotten out of here. We had a downpour roll through here for just about 5 minutes or so. At about 5 or 5:30, maybe about 4:30 or so during the women's soccer practice out here. So the field's still a little bit damp. Stands a little bit damp as well. But nothing too bad. We haven't seen anybody really slip too hard on the field here tonight. A 1-0 Taylor lead on Jeremiah Rader's first goal of the season. He's the leading returning scorer and assist man for Taylor this season. Had 2 goals and 2 helpers last year, but 22 of the 27 goals for Taylor from the 2017 campaign have graduated or are no longer with the team. Here's Alex Gallup controlling, one of the 3 defenders back for TU. As Gallup had to sit out Saturday's game after drawing a red card in that so far postponed first game of the year for Taylor when they were up at Robert Morris. There was lightning and storms all over the joint just outside of Chicago last Wednesday. That game was postponed in the middle of the second half with Taylor down 4. They did not play the required 70 minutes for it to be an official game, and so it still goes down as being incomplete. Trinity Christian trying to get their first shot of the night. Centering ball. Johnson will kick that one out of there. On the right-footed service by Brevin DeBoer. Here's Gilliam fighting for position with Simoes. And Simoes will come out of the scrum with it, and then Salako steps right back in front, takes it away. McBride hustling after it. James just a little bit too far away to make any play on it as Paul Eganoff gets loose for Taylor on the near side of the field. Gallup puts that head in and sends it out of bounds far side. It will remain here with Trinity Christian. Sun trying to peek out just a little bit to the left. Simoes fighting for position far side of the field. Alberghetti will wrestle him away from the ball. Gallup will just clear this one out of bounds far sideline. It's the dark blue jerseys here for Trinity Christian. Taylor on the white, purple striped jersey tops. Their purple uniforms go with these purple shorts if they so wanted to go all purple. Or the inverse of the colored stripes and numbers. Those purple jerseys would have white stripes and white numbers. Johnson, one of the tri-captains. Hardy spun around like a top, and it's taken away by Solaire. Hardy, though, using those quick feet to pounce right back. He's tied up. He's good double team by his freshman classmate Clay Vanderkolk to slow down Solaire. And Solaire will throw it in, but now will drop it. They'll allow Carlos Coletto, one of the defenders, to come in and throw it in for Trinity Christian. A bouncing throw to Soletto, marked by Johnson. Vanderkolk to Hardy, who heads it along to Rader. He's our only goal scorer tonight. Taylor up 1-0. Less than 34 minutes remaining here in the opening half. Salako to Gallup, then all the way back to the near side of the field in Andrew Johnson. Rader back to Johnson. Trinity Christian sliding everybody back. They are just putting a 4-man wall back there with their defenders, allowing no free space for Gilliam and Wieland. Here's McBride with a little sliver of open green to work with. Trying to dance away from Simones. Rolls back to his shoulder. Pressure comes in from behind. He loses it and then cleared out of there by Trinity Christian. Salako heading it forward into the box where his keeper Luke Williams waits. And a right foot one to the near sideline and Andrew Johnson. Johnson jogging, drives it, trying to thread it through to the cutting Gilliam. It's deflected back to the spinning Rader, who got a little bit caught away with it. Hardy tried to spin away from pressure and Solaire. And then they go back to Johnson once again. Vanderkolk pushed on from behind by Sotelo. And now Johnson will regroup as they try to get Trinity Christian to come out of this 6-man back there behind, or 6-man deep. Make it 7 actually there behind midfield. It is a wall of 7 blue defenders surrounding Hardy, Wieland, and Gilliam. Rader runs away from trouble. And we'll send it over to the sophomore Gallup on the far sideline. Long ball to the youngster McBride. He'll turn on the Jets and try to cut in from the left side wing. Pressured away by Alejandro Sotelo. Vanderkolk throws his leg in front, cuts off the pass, and spins away and drops it down to Rader. Into space as Johnson will step across the midline for TU. Through ball into space, too much juice for Wieland to get after it. It rolls across the end line, and that will be a goal kick upcoming here for Trinity Christian. Mueller, the German, sophomore German. Directs traffic with that left hand. As now Trinity Christian head coach Eric Sally takes that rain jacket off as it gets just a little bit warmer down there with the sun creeping out from behind the clouds once again. Whelan has it headed away from him by Boers. Then deflected out of bounds by Trinity Christian, and so Hardy will throw it in for TU. Here comes Paul Eganoff on for the first time. Eganoff will replace Cole Gilliam. And Hardy will still throw it in from the near side of the field for TU. He goes back to Johnson, and then he'll drive it deep to Gallup, who backpedals and lets the ball roll to his feet. Hardy to Sulaco. And then back over far side, it'll be Gallup with the ball at his feet. A much different game than what we saw for Taylor on Saturday night when St. Francis of Illinois was in here. A little bit more of a defensive struggle here with Trinity Christian. The Trolls still looking for that first shot of the night. DeBoer deals off to Sotelo. It's blocked. And Hardy comes out of nowhere and barrels Sotelo down. Had a little step in there. But he collides hard with Sotelo, gets whistled for the foul, and it'll be a free kick here for Trinity Christian. Kirchhoff will take it. Hardy will mark him in front. Now the two-man wall will be made up of Eganoff and Hardy as Williams directs his teammates where he wants them to stand. Two hands in the air for Kirchhoff. Trinity Christian down 1-0. This one to the back post. And Sulaco puts that head in there and knocks it straight into the air. McBride will head it into space, and now Wieland will chase after. Holding it in for Trinity Christian, however, will be Colato. And then sent across the end line. It was last touched by Trinity Christian. And so Williams will have a goal kick. Just past 29 minutes remaining here in the opening half. It's Taylor 1 and Trinity Christian 0 on Jeremiah Rader's first goal of the season. Johnson holding. He'll find Vanderkolk on the near sideline. Soft pass into space to Hardy. Two defenders there, and it's sent out of bounds and back to TCC. Vanderkolk. Then back to Sulaco. Taylor has dominated possession tonight, but with Trinity Christian throwing 7 defenders back there at times within 5 yards of midfield, it's been tough to get opportunities. Rader trying to connect with Eganoff as he runs up the near side of the box. Eganoff slips, he'll pounce on after it. Spun away, and now here comes Trinity Christian the other way with Ben Boers. Eganoff almost stepped in there. Then he will make Colotl dance with it a little bit. Now here's Whelan from behind, bounces right to Rader. Heel click over to Hardy, into space. Alberghetti had room, but then it was nullified at the last moment as Fakadu Timmermans came in and took that ball right away from Alberghetti. Then Vanderkolk wrapped up with Sotelo. Both go rolling around on the turf. No foul is called, and now Trinity Christian will settle up in the defensive half. Whelan poking it free momentarily. A little spin move to keep the ball at his feet. He'll side shoe it over to Owen Hardy. And now Taylor will regroup in the defensive half after a quick little skirmish there on the offensive end. Johnson drives this one all the way over to James McBride on the far side of the field. 2 defenders marking him. He'll dance to his left, turns on the Jets. Now he's got a little bit of space. A centering ball knocked down and then just poked out of there by Ben Boers, the defender for Trinity Christian. It's out of bounds. McBride lets it bounce out of play, and he'll throw it in front of the stone wall across from us. McBride heaves it in Whelan's direction in the box. Careens out of there by the Trinity Christian defense. Alberghetti, a long ball through everybody. That sends Williams, the keeper, scampering out of the box for TU, and he knocks it down into space. And plenty of room to work here for the defender, Andrew Johnson. Salako in the middle. Now to Gallup on the far side. And then back to the middle and Salako. Johnson, a crossfield pass to Gallup. And now McBride will go for a run again on the far side. A little touch pass to Eganoff. Nice spin to the middle. Laying it off to Josiah Wheeler, then all the way back to Alberghetti, and then a one-touch off to Andrew Johnson. Johnson stepping in, looking to his left, trying to curl it in, back post, just over the jumping Whelan's head, and it's snagged by the keeper Mueller. A beautiful ball sent in there by TU, and Whelan just had that centering pass go soaring over his head as he tried to get his second goal of the year. Easy turnover, Vanderkolk steps around a defender. Eganoff taken down underneath as he bumps into the shoulder of one of the TCC defenders. Here come the Trolls the other way, attacking the goal to our left. They're down 1 here with 24.5 minutes remaining here in half number 1. Alberghetti trying to apply that pressure here. Timmerman steps in, then loses it, and it'll be James McBride that comes out of the scrum with it for TU. Raider pops it into the air. And now McBride will step in. His pass couldn't really get his footing, did James, and it's an easy takeaway here for the Trinity Christian D. But they have sat back in the defensive end here after falling behind 1-0 ever since that goal happened less than 4 minutes in to play tonight. Boers, the sophomore from Allendale, Michigan. Gallup steps in and boots this one deep. Nobody there except the keeper, Mueller. Long pass, here's Coletto. Hardy trying to argue his case that it went off of Coletto. Instead stays here with Trinity Christian. Salako steps in to Alberghetti and then back to Gallup as TU will regroup in the defensive half once again. Johnson, nice little centering, a little thread pass there to Whelan. Vanderkolk, then back to Johnson. Raider looks over the shoulder, no pressure coming. He'll calmly play it to Johnson, who does the same to Salako. Raider to Vanderkolk, trying to find the cutting Eganoff. Boer steps in front. And Raider will hold it in here for Taylor. Curling ball far side over the defender's head, right to the feet of McBride, stepping in. Left-footed rising shot will go careening off the football goalpost. And it looks like they'll say it was deflected off by a Trinity Christian defender, so it'll be a corner here for TU, their first corner of the night. Vanderkolk will take this one from the near side of the field as
Now in for Taylor, number 11, Paul McBride.
Paul McBride comes in to replace Whelan. Gallup will play this in with the right foot. Outswinging ball, low. Booted out of there by Trueblood for Trinity Christian. Hardy deflects it into space. That allows the man who sent the corner in to send it back in, cutting in, and that one too far away from anybody in white. Mueller there for the catch for Trinity Christian as Vanderkolk sent that one back into the box. 21:02 remaining in the opening half. The Jeremiah Raider tally, the only scoring of the night so far. Johnson boots it deep. Eganoff tracking. Collides with Hune. Both men still go running after it. They'll say it goes off of Eganoff. And so it's a deep throw in the defensive half for Trinity Christian. Now Brigetti takes that throw in from Trinity Christian. Vanderkolk with plenty of room to work in the middle of the field. Centering right-footed shot wide right of the frame. Third shot of the night for Taylor. Just one so far for Trinity Christian. But it's been a much slower game than what we saw with Taylor and St. Francis of Illinois on Saturday night here from Turner Stadium. Gallup trying to mark Timmermans. He'll ride him out of bounds, and it will go back to Taylor for a throw-in. Taylor very content here. They've got the 1-0 lead. Trinity Christian has not come out of their defensive shape and set since falling behind 1-0. They've got 5 defenders back here across the midfield with just Eganoff and Paul McBride acting as forwards right now for TU. Solako to Gallup. To midfield and Eganoff. And Gallup tried to step over the tackle, but he knocks it out of bounds in the process. And the throw-in will be Trinity Christians on the far sideline. Kirchhoff has it taken away by TU. Another sub will jog to midfield. It'll be Luke Holwerda. Hardy and Vanderkolk double team. And they cut out the legs from underneath Sotelo. And the Trojans will be whistled for the foul. Boers to Kirchhoff. And then all the way to the far side of the field, and Andrew Hune. Raider and Timmermans wrapped up. A physical game here so far. Not a lot of fouls called. Not a lot of hand fighting to go on. Dennis Lang, our head official, is not really blowing the whistle too much tonight. Just 4 fouls, 2 aside. Pass knocked down, and stepping through and skating in will be Sotelo. 3 white jerseys surround him to the top of the box. Whiffing on a one-time chance was Brevin DeBoer, the sophomore from Hudsonville, Michigan. But TCC able to hold it in with Kirchhoff, long-range shot. That one well wide. And here comes Holwerda for TU. He replaces whom? Eganoff? Yep, Eganoff.
Now in for Taylor, number 10, Luke Holwerda.
Less than 16 and a half minutes remaining here in the first half. Johnson is just going to stand back here, and he's going to try to draw Trinity Christian out as much as possible. And now here comes pressure from the TCC forwards. Johnson trying to get away from Sotelo. Into the box where Williams, the keeper, will wait for it. And then he gives it right back to his fellow tri-captain, Andrew Johnson. Left-footed long pass from Vanderkolk, and here comes the speedy James McBride. Accelerating on the left sideline, waits for reinforcements. Plays the ball behind his feet, now will dance to the end line. Spinning back over that left shoulder, he'll sashay with it momentarily. Then it rolls back to the far side where Timmermans will have it for Trinity Christian. Long pass in, Salako the easiest one to it. And he volleys this one back towards Williams in the Taylor box. Alberghetti to Vanderkolk. And then to Johnson on the right side of the field. Hardy will bring that one back across the near sideline before it rolled out of bounds. 15 minutes remaining here in half one. 1-0 TU. On the goal by Jeremiah Rader, less than 4 minutes in here to the contest tonight. Johnson will bash this one to the far sideline where it'll be Gallops to control. Vanderkolk to Paul McBride. And then here comes Trinity Christian the other way with Simones. Alberghetti to Vanderkolk for Taylor. And then Andrew Johnson near sideline. Long ball from Vanderkolk. Paul McBride with the loose ball back and circle around that left shoulder. Back towards the middle of the field. Hands are all on him. The foul is finally called against McBride, ironically enough. So the defender had the hands all on the back of the freshman Paul McBride out of Bloomington, Illinois. And this one bounces back in deep. Rader will head into space. Now he will hit the accelerator. He's the only goal scorer tonight. And then it's knocked away from behind him, and it rolls out of bounds. Remaining here with Taylor for a throw-in. Will they call the foul? They will call the foul. And so Hardy will take this. Nope. He'll pass it up and let Rader have a go at the free kick from the near side. As we dip below 13 minutes remaining here in half number one. A 1-0 Taylor lead on Jeremiah Rader's tally 4 minutes in. Rader approaches and right foots one in. Salako bouncing through him. Holwarda knocking it down. Little dink into space. Alberghetti's shot is blocked, and then this one is bicycled out of there by the Trinity Christian defense. Johnson's pass to no man's land, handled by Coletto of Trinity Christian. And now TCC will set things up with Mueller, their keeper. Sotelo trying to get a little bit of space. Then it bounces away from him, and Johnson will throw it in front of his own bench. Johnson pivots and throws back to his left in the defensive half where Salako stands. Big right foot from the senior Irishman. But then Trinity Christian will knock it down and play it forward with Timmermans. A one touchdown to DeBoer. Oh, wide open space for Sotelo as he gets loose on the left side. Step over move. Double team comes. Salako making life difficult. Sotelo falls down. Gallup will scoop the ball away from him and clear it out to the near side of the field. First sub of the night for Trinity Christian will enter right here. And that'll be number 6, Andres Garcia.
Now on for Trinity, number 6, Andres Garcia.
Throw in near side here for TCC. They trail 1-0 with 11 minutes remaining here in half number 1. Taylor in search of their first win of the year. This is the season opener for Trinity Christian. Garcia kicks this one out of bounds, and Taylor will throw it in about 10 yards past the end of their bench along this near sideline. Raider trying to head it along. Paul McBride watched that one bounce out of bounds, and he'll leave it for his classmate freshman Owen Hardy to throw it in. Raider, Johnson, Salako. And now Gallup. And now Salako. And then Johnson near side. Taylor has just dominated possession here in the first half. They lead 1-0. And they have tried to pull Trinity Christian out of this deep, heavy defensive set tonight, but the Trolls have not bid on any morsels that Taylor has offered their way. A run up the far left side by James McBride will roll out of bounds. And who was the last touched by? It'll be on the end line, so Vanderkolk will take this one from the far corner. He'll be able to play an in-swinging ball with his right foot from the far corner. With less than 9:30 left before halftime. Middle of the box, Salako just mistimed the jump, and he's whistled for the foul inside the 18. Hardy sent spinning down, but he gets the ball back for TU, and he'll throw it in. And he does so to Andrew Johnson. Crossfield, far side to Gallup. And he left foots it back to Salako, who right foots one to the near side of the field, and Johnson with plenty of room to operate as he steps across the midline. Paul McBride back to Johnson, who eludes 2 defenders. And then back to the defensive half as Vanderkolk will fill the position. And back to the box and Luke Williams, the keeper. Adam Siegelin ready to check in for TU. Raider hustling after this one, trying to get the ball before it rolls across the end line. Just a little bit too late getting there as he lost his footing. And the goal kick will be Matthias Mueller of Trinity Christians. And the sophomore Siegelin from right here in Upland, Indiana, will replace James McBride on the Trojan D. One 0 Taylor leads, 7:20 remaining here before the first half comes to a close. Vanderkolk a header into space. Holwerda back to Johnson, and then up to Vanderkolk. Tried to curl it along to Hardy. This one might be deflected out of bounds, and it is. Unable to keep the ball at his feet was Boers, the defender. And a quick throw in by Hardy to Holwerda. 2 Wheaton Academy kids trying to team up here as Holwerda stops and starts, trying to get to the end line. It's sent out of bounds near side. One of the tri-captains, Andrew Johnson, will throw it in. And as he customarily does, he gets back all the way to the concrete to get a running head start. Heaves it into the box. Holwerda there trying to work it along. Couldn't get a clean contact on it. Vanderkolk out. Johnson will chest it down, but then he'll be knocked away momentarily. Vanderkolk shoved from behind. It stays here with TU as the ball goes out of bounds for another Johnson throw-in. 6:05 and counting here in half one. Taylor on top, 1-0. Johnson looking to Rader. Off the back of his head, trying to knock it in with Siegelin. As he cut in front of that near side post, it goes out of bounds. And another goal kick here for Mueller and Trinity Christian. Turning up the near side of the field is Soler. Johnson with him step for TU. Hardy comes to apply pressure. Soler loses it, and then Hardy steps in and says, thank you very much, I'll take this one, and send it all the way up to Paul McBride near midfield. P. McBride to Hardy. A one-touch to Rader, who knocks it down and then sweeps it right back up to Hardy near side. A good play developing. Hardy with a cross in the middle. There's Holwerda with the header. Right to Mueller, who makes a second stop. And then McBride buries it with a right foot. And Paul McBride scores his first career collegiate goal and puts Taylor on top 2-0 here with less than 5 minutes remaining here in the opening half.
Goal by Taylor, number 11, Paul McBride. Assist by number 10, Luke Holder.
So that goal comes in the 41st minute as Paul McBride right there on top of it to bury it with the right foot. And Taylor has increased their lead to 2-0 here. Just before halftime. Foul called against TU. Fourth foul against TU here tonight. Vanderkolk heads this one back into space, and here's Rader. To the near side, this will be Hardy. Back to Rader, one touch to Holwerda, who had to leap in the air and knock it back down. And then as Hardy tried to work it up the near sideline, Sotelo stepped in front and deflected it out. Just about 4 minutes remaining here in half one. Now here's Paul McBride. Johnson will bash this one all the way to the opposite side of the field and gallop. And then Siegelin gives it right back to him on the same area. Too far for Alberghetti. Vanderkolk steps in up to Holwerda. Rader to Johnson. Accelerating up the near side of the field, trying to slip it through two defenders. Too far for Hardy to get a run after it. And then Hardy comes back. Deflects Kirchhoff off the path. And then Hardy whistled for the foul as he's sent tumbling to the turf. Hune back to his keeper, Mueller. There's a couple steps in front of the box. 3 minutes exactly remaining before halftime. Taylor up 2-0, looking for that first win of the season. Taylor wants a handball. They won't get it. As Colato keeps working it up. And now Johnson will throw it in for TU. Up the near sideline, McBride trying to cut behind Boers. Across the end line, the ball rolls, and where will it go? To the corner for TU. Their third such set piece of the night. And Vanderkolk will jog in. He'll play it again from the right with a right foot from the near side corner. .212 and counting here in half one. Taylor up 2-0 after goals from Rader and now McBride. Right foot from Vanderkolk, out-swinging ball. Siegel in there with a header, and it'll just go wide left of the frame. Now with less than 2 minutes remaining in the opening half, Trinity Christian will get the goal kick. Alberghetti will steal the pass for TU, then circle back towards midfield and lay it back to Gallup. Into space in Alberghetti. And then to Johnson, and then on to Hardy. Vanderkolk trying to run the give and go with Hardy. Too far for the classmates to hook up. And back the possession goes to Trinity Christian. Holwerda, Vanderkolk, left footing to Rader, on to Alberghetti, just slid away from him by Kirchhoff. Gallup will hustle after it and send this one all the way deep to Luke Williams with less than a minute remaining here in half one.
1 minute remaining.
45 seconds remaining here in half one. 2-0 the Taylor lead. Williams to Gallup on the far sideline. And Taylor will be more than content to go to the halftime locker room up by 2 after having a 1-all score in the game on Saturday. And now Rader will try to do something with it, maybe with 13 seconds. Steps in front of the pass from Soler.
8, 7, 6,
And then dropping back in, Vanderkolk will drive this one high into the air. And back to the other end of the field. And that will be how the first half will come to a close. So Jeremiah Rader gets the scoring going for Taylor in the first half, less than 4 minutes in. And then Paul McBride scores in the 41st minute. And Taylor takes a 2-0 lead to the halftime locker room. This halftime score update brought to you by BSN Sports. We'll have a deeper look at the halftime stats just before the second half begins. This is Taylor Men's Soccer here on the Trojan Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Your heart? Well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
The decision you're making is about so much more than where you'll spend the next 4 years. It's about how you'll live the next 40. So let me break down the Taylor University experience. We integrate faith and learning to become well-rounded, lifelong learners, while delivering a deeper knowledge of our specific areas of study. Whether you're producing award-winning films, building satellites for NASA, or preparing for a national ethics debate, Taylor will push you to excel in your field. But excellence isn't always about having the right answers. Sometimes it's about asking the right questions. Taylor is interdenominational. That means we can't always fall back on specific church doctrine to settle issues. We rely on scripture and the dynamic nature of iron sharpening iron to better know the God who's not afraid of our question. Much of this happens in the small town of Upland, Indiana, the place where Taylor does life together. But don't let this small town fool you. The schedule is packed with things to do, and through these activities, faculty, staff, and students become more than individuals occupying the same address. They become a community. But this community isn't limited to the campus. We travel, boy do we travel. We are ranked as one of the top 10 schools in the country for overseas experiences. But it isn't just about the going. It's about the sharing of those experiences and being challenged by those who come to Upland as their international experience. Taylor is one of a few Christian colleges that expects all students to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Now, this doesn't mean Taylor is a Christian Disneyland, full of cardboard cutout perfection. Taylor is full of real people with real problems, and living together can get kind of messy. But in that mess, we take Jesus' call from John 13 seriously. We practice picking up our towel and dealing with the mess in each other's lives. We're not here just to follow the rules for 4 years. Instead, we hope to learn to live authentic lives, calling each other to lives of meaning. Every day, our focus remains on the 40, not just the 4. We'd love to show you more about Taylor. Come visit, sit in on a class, go to chapel, spend a night in a residence hall. Experience the difference for yourself.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University's student athletes.
Play that old song! You really wanted to play it. That's what's really going to evoke the memory. You gotta have the music that you listeners listen to.
The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at taylorcampusstore.com.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
So a little bit of rain might make things just a little bit interesting here in this second half as Taylor leads 2-0 off of goals from Rader and McBride. Assists go to Johnson and Holwerda. Johnson on the Rader tally, Holwerda on the McBride score. And TU outshot Trinity Christian 6-1 in that first half, including 3-0 on shots on goal. And the two teams back out on the field. Those halftime stats brought to you by BSN Sports. 2-0 Taylor. And just a minute into this second half, Taylor going from right to left in white and purple. Trinity Christian in dark blue. Here's Gallup on the near side, getting pressured by DeBoer. And a turnover as Timmermans will step in and press it forward. Salako sprinting after it. He'll easily beat DeBoer to it, and then lets it roll across the end line and give the goal kick to his keeper, Luke Williams. Luke not tested in that first half. And one save for Matthias Mueller, but the rebound then led directly to Taylor's second goal of the night. They lead 2-0 right now, just underway here in half number 2. James McBride, a little pressure from behind, gives it off to Gallup, and then up to Alberghetti. Luke Holwerda gets the start here in the second half over Cole Gilliam. As the rain is tailed off here a little bit. Nothing really too hard during the game tonight. A little bit harder during halftime, but nothing too terrible. Williams will drive this one out, knocked down by DeBoer, and now he'll try to turn up to his left. Little give and go here, back into space as a step on Salako to the end line, dribbles it too hard, and that one rolls out of bounds, and a goal kick upcoming for Luke Williams in TU. Rader, a big right foot near side. James McBride trying to undercut. Couldn't get there to it first, and then sent out of there as Timmermans cannot handle the redirect. And James McBride will throw it in for Taylor. Alberghetti up to Rader. Left side of the field, darts between 3 defenders and into space to McBride. This is James. Brother Paul has a goal already tonight. And then TCC clears this one out of bounds. Rader. His pass swept all the way to Gallup, and then he'll send it down to Vanderkolk for Taylor. Little pop in. Holwerda trying to slice on through. Couldn't get there. And Taylor will be able to hold this one inside midfield. Johnson right side. Crossing with a right foot. Catching the chest of Simonis. Simoes, excuse me. And now Rader up the left side. Little touch to Wieland. McBride, then a little dink back to Wieland. Left side of the box, a little left-footed pass. Holwerda trying to turn, got a shot off, but he couldn't get enough juice on it. That's a stop for Mueller, his second save of the night. We got a little chance there from the Trojans. And then Hardy gets his arm hooked on the far side by a defender. And the foul lets Taylor set up a free kick. Almost 5 minutes into the second half. Taylor with the first good scoring opportunity out of the halftime locker room. and they still are ahead by 2. Alberghetti to Wheeland. He's got Hardy to his right and will find him. Far sideline, Hardy looking to cross, does. A low pass is just towed out of there by Boers. Wheeland comes in, trying to hold it in to the end line, trying to cross. He'll hold it in and then move back to his left out towards the far sideline. Hardy plays it into the box. Holward, a late jump, and his path was cut off by a TCC defender. Hardy, a back heel kick. Johnson, a little step over move, and out of bounds off of Trinity Christian, staying here with Taylor for the throw in. Gallup to Salako. And then Johnson. And now here's the young Owen Hardy. Trying to get a step on the defender. To the end line. Just got a little bit tangled up. And he couldn't get to it before it rolled across. And Mueller will have the goal kick here for Trinity Christian. 6.5 minutes have expired here in the second half. Still a 2-0 Taylor lead. Just one shot for Trinity Christian here all night. It was not on goal. And this one will bounce all the way out of bounds to the far sideline, and Taylor will throw it in from their defensive half. Carlos Coletta will take the throw in here. It's turned right back over by Trinity Christian as Wheeland trying to jostle with Kirchhoff, who the captain. Now McBride, a little one-touch in off of his foot, and the shot goes wide by Trinity Christian. Their second shot of the night. But it's well wide, and Williams will handle the goal kick for TU. Long pass in. McBride lets it bounce, trying to sweep it forward with that left leg. It's out of bounds. It'll stay with Taylor. Alberghetti, good box out. But curls one in right to the 18. Nobody there for either team except Mueller, the keeper, for TCC. It'll boot this one back into play. Taylor is on the road for their next 3 games. At Judson on the 25th of August, at Trinity International on the 27th, and at Concordia on September 3rd, as Holward will watch this one roll too far away from him and out of bounds across the end line. So after going 3 straight on the road, Taylor will come back for 4 straight here at home, starting with September 1st against number 15 Madonna, then Indiana Tech, and then they jump into league play at the end of September with Spring Arbor and Bethel. Mueller, the TCC keeper, gets it back. Wheeland applying pressure on him. Now Holwarda will have it go off of his foot as he was marking Boers on the far sideline. Johnson volleys one back in for TU near midfield. And then back into space, here's Vanderkolk. Works back to his right, finds the trailing Jeremiah Rader. His first goal of the year was the first goal tonight. Gallup in, looking for Holwarda, sent back out of there by TCC. Alberghetti able to hold it in, then back to midfield and Andrew Johnson. Johnson to Rader. And then to the near side, right on the number 50 at midfield. To Gallup. Here's a long shot from Vanderkolk, and that one sails over the crossbar and out of play. Second shot of the night for Vanderkolk, the freshman. But he was unsuccessful on catching and getting that one to connect from long distance. Hardy right foots one in. Whelan, the intended target, spun away by Boers. And here comes Trinity Christian trying to set something up offensively. They have just 2 shots here all night, and Solako will play this one back to his keeper, Luke Williams. Dark skies are off to our right. Brighter skies are off to our left. That's where the sun is setting back into our left. Alberghetti steps in, trying to give Holwarda a chase to go after it. He'll try to split 2 defenders. Holwarda still with it. He'll pen it into the air, then back down to the ground and in the box. Holwarda will be called for the foul. Whelan kicked the ball into the goal after the whistle was blown. The foul against Taylor, their 6th. First one here of the second half. Taylor applying pressure here. Here's Whelan, top of the box. Left-footed shot is in, and Taylor takes a 3-0 lead as Josiah Whelan gets his 2nd goal of the season. And with 33 minutes and change remaining here in the second half,
Josiah Whelan, assist number 13, Clay Vanderkolk.
as Vanderkolk gets the assist. Whelan's 2nd goal of the year gives Taylor a 3-0 cushion. So the Whelan tally comes in the 57th minute.
25, Sean McLaughlin.
And Sean McLaughlin comes in on D here for Trinity Christian. And Tyler Dayoff is coming for the first time for TU. He wears number 23. Three 0 Taylor lead. Three goals here in this game, more than they scored in the 3-2 loss to St. Francis on Saturday, and also they were shut out in that season opener Wednesday. Last Wednesday, I should say, with Robert Morris. That game postponed. Not sure if it's going to get made up or not. Dayoff with a slide tackle. Stepping over it is TCC, and Timmermans will carry, then taken down from behind, and Taylor wins the ball back. Alberghetti's pass is deflected out towards the far side of the field. Hardy sprinting after it along with Soler. That's fought for just inside midfield. Loose ball sent into the Taylor defensive half. Solako hustling after it. Gallup leans in and heads this one out towards the far side. And slowing it down will be Sotelo for TCC. Johnson and Galberghetti marking him. Help comes from behind. A slide tackle out of bounds. It'll go off of Taylor, and it'll be the first corner of the night here for Trinity Christian College. Looks like Soler will take this one from the far side corner. Curling in, Williams will make the catch. And the first save of the night is there for Luke Williams on the first shot on goal here by Trinity Christian, their 3rd shot of the night overall. Johnson to Hardy. Here's Dayhoff. Curls one to Whelan, just clicks off that heel. James McBride trying to hold it in. Alberghetti back to Gallup. Then a long ball through to Whelan, who will chest it towards the middle of the field. Trying to clear it was Hune, and McBride will hold it in. He had a step on one defender, but the second help was from Simoes, and it's taken away. Trinity Christian trying to press it up. They overrun the ball. Dayhoff trying to find Rader. Too far for the tri-captain, Jeremiah Rader. And it'll go back to Trinity Christian. Coming in for the Trojans will be Mason Brook, sophomore transfer from Trinity International. He replaces James McBride. His brother Paul will walk towards midfield to enter when his opportunity comes. Mueller readies. And will right foot this one forward. Wheeland to the cutting Brook on the near side flank. Brook angling back to his right. Nice pass to the middle, and Dayhoff who tees up a right-footed bomb, but it's blocked away by Ben Boers, the Trinity Christian defender. So Lair deep, and that one lands in the visiting stands. And another substitution comes in here for Taylor with just about 29 minutes remaining in the second half. Josiah Wheeland out. Paul McBride, who scored Taylor's second goal tonight, comes back in. Johnson, a right-footed volley towards the middle of the field. Paul McBride battling for it. Then into space. Driven way out of there. As Salaka will head this one back in on the bomb from Mueller. Alberghetti battling with Timmermans. They'll get it back from Gallup. And then this one back towards the box, and Taylor keeper Luke Williams will handle. He right foots one to Andrew Johnson. Then back to the near side and Gallup. Taylor from right to left in white and purple. Trinity Christian in dark blue. They attack the goal to our right. But their offense has been very deliberate. They played a lot of defense tonight. That looks like it's been by design. Ball sent out of bounds far side. It'll be a Taylor throw-in as we approach 28 minutes remaining here in half number 2. Taylor on top, 3-0. First half goals by Rader and Paul McBride. And then Josiah Wheeland has scored here in the second half to give Taylor this 3-0 cushion. This one cleared across the end line. Looked like it might be a Taylor corner. Instead, they'll say it goes across the far sideline. And so before Owen Hardy can throw it in, Cole Gilliam will make his way back onto the field for TU, replacing Luke Holwerda.
Now on for Taylor, number 18, Cole Gilliam.
Hardy will back up and heave this one in. Rader plays it off. Dayhoff try to send it in. McBride sends this one to the sky. And now Brook will try to box things out. Handball in the box that Taylor looks for. They won't get it. And it looked like that ball got slapped down there by Trinity Christian's Timmermans as he and Brook were fighting for it. Now Brook will hustle up the near side, trying to stay step for step with Simoes. Dennis Lang, our head referee tonight, has been hearing it a little bit here from the Taylor fans as of late. And a foul called against TU. And so TCC will have a free kick here. Their captain, Kirkhoff, will take it. Alberghetti, the man standing in front. Curling to the middle of the box, bouncing in. Williams will snatch it out of the air. That one bounced softly towards the goal mouth. Gallup to Brook. And then Gilliam. Rader, one touch off to Brook. He'll curl this one to space on the far side at Andrew Johnson, who slides and can't hold this one in. It goes back to Trinity Christian on the far side. Justin Taylor, their 5'9" sophomore from, or to make that, excuse me, not Justin Taylor. That'll be 26. Zach DeCock.
Now on for Trinity, number 26, Zach DeCock.
As he comes in for the first time tonight. Dayhoff will drive this one out of play far sideline. It goes back to TCC. Alberghetti slides, sends it up towards Raiders' direction. And then Hardy will drive it deep. McBride closing on the defender in front, just can't get there before it's played off to the keeper Mueller, who sends it out of bounds. Hardy wants a fresh ball to throw in. He'll allow Andrew Johnson to toss it in. McBride turns and fires, but that one wide on the outside part of the goal. Another sub comes in for TU. It's the 5'11" junior from Germantown, Tennessee, Peter Lynn. He replaces Jeremiah Rader. (3-0) Taylor lead, just about 22.5 minutes remaining here in the second half. Season opener for Trinity Christian. The Trojans playing in their second game that will count towards their record. Remember, they played in that game at Robert Morris last week. It was postponed due to weather. But Gallup still had to serve the suspension for gaining the red card in that game against Robert Morris, even though it was never an official game. Gilliam back to midfield, and Alberghetti rotates away and lays it off for Gallup. Alberghetti to space on the near side where Mason Brook will try to knock it down, but taken right off of him, and here comes accelerating his Simoes up the near side. Andres Garcia and Evan Whitmer come in here for Trinity Christian. First time we've seen Whitmer here tonight. Second time we've seen Garcia. First time in the second half. 22:20 left in regulation. Taylor up 3-0 over TCC. Dayhoff will right foot this one to the far side. Hardy will let this one bounce away from him and go out. Trinity Christian carrying in. Then Salako and Johnson collapse and kick this one out just to the left of the flag, and that means it'll be a Trolls throw-in instead of a corner kick. Johnson fighting for position. And it'll send out of bounds by TCC across the end line, and that gives Luke Williams another opportunity to drive one deep. Salako smacks it deep. McBride try to get to it. Dayhoff will hold it in near midfield. McBride heading it along, but the only one there is Mathis Mueller, the keeper for Trinity Christian. Our coverage of Taylor soccer continues tomorrow when the women's soccer team opens up their season right here tomorrow night on the Trojan Sports Network. And here at Turner Stadium when they take on number 3 Northwestern Ohio. Long ball all the way to the offensive end for TCC. Gallopin to Koch. Jumped into the air. Gallup came up the worse for wear. Alberghetti will carry forward. Had a lower body injury about midway through the first half on Saturday. Came back and played a little bit in the second half. Looks much, much better tonight. Kirchhoff towards that far side of the field, and Timmermans. But it's taken away from him, and Hardy will give it a run on the far side. To Paul McBride. For Taylor as they move from right to left in white, leading 3-0 here with 19.5 minutes remaining in half number 2. Day off, a little pressure from behind. His pass deflected back to him, and then he spikes it off of a defender, and it stays here with TU, a throw-in upcoming from the far sideline. Johnson to the middle of the field, and Alberghetti. Rotate back to the middle of the field over that left shoulder. Into space. Dayhoff tracking. Too far for him to get to it, and Mueller comes off of his line and snags it for Trinity Christian. Simoes to Whitmer. A challenge by Brook and out of bounds. It's going to be a Taylor throw-in. Gilliam boxing, trying to get space as Hune marks him. Gilliam near side corner. Back to his right. Still trying to turn in a little bit. We'll poke it into space and chase after it. Back up to Gallup near midfield. And then over to Dayhoff. And then back across midfield to Andrew Johnson, far side. Taylor going from right to left and white. They're up by 3. Alberghetti turns away from pressure at the pressure of Kirchhoff. Lynn to McBride, too far for the freshman. And now Trinity Christian with Simoes, will try to set it up. This one sent deep. McBride turning on the Jets as he and Gilliam make life hectic for Simoes. Lynn slicing through two TCC defenders. Dayhoff, long ball in, too far for Hardy, and that one will go across the end line and be a goal kick here for Trinity Christian. So it's Case Van Wijngerden with 16.5 minutes remaining here in the second half. Centering ball, blocked out of bounds by Gallup across the end line, and that will set up the second corner of the night here for Trinity Christian. Simoes will take this one from the near side corner. 16 minutes remaining here in the second half. Trinity Christian down 3-0. Right foot one's in. Headed back, then back towards the goal, but wide left on the bicycle attempt. Looked like there by Kirkhoff, the captain. And Quinn Partain will come in here for TU. The Wheaton Academy product will replace his high school teammate Owen Hardy.
Now in for Taylor, number 15, Quinn Partain.
So the younger brothers of Sam Hardy and Gabe Partain replace each other here. And then Partain will be whistled for the foul. Kirkhoff to the far side. And this one sent into the box. Williams will easily snag it and fall down. Then he quickly whips one over to Johnson on the far side. To the middle of the field and Alberghetti. McBride will dink it down to Partain after Gallup ran through a tackle. Pass was behind Gilliam, redirected back up to the sophomore. Partain tried to run the give and go with Paul McBride, deflected out, and Partain will throw it in to Alberghetti with plenty of space to work. Dayhoff to Johnson. Cutting in will be Lynn. Will step through a tackle easily, trying to turn the corner. Looking to center. The pass is knocked down by Sotelo. They're unable to handle the pass back as boards. It rolls out of bounds, and TU will throw it in with 13:25 remaining in regulation. They lead by 3. Lynn gets it back, steps through one tackle. Big right-footed, in-curling ball, headed back in by Gilliam. McBride almost headed it in, but it was snatched away by the keeper, Mueller. Johnson trying to win the ball back for TU. It's worked back to midfield and Andres Garcia. Kirkhoff to Simoes. That's turned over as Alberghetti will dish it into space with Andrew Johnson. Paul McBride back to Alberghetti. Long left-footed pass. Partain slicing in with a little bit of room to work. Trying to turn in, end line, centering ball back to the middle. Oh, the only folks there are in blue. As Trinity Christian clears it away, Gilliam jumps in front of a pass, and it goes off of his leg and out of bounds at the end of his own bench. Simoes to throw it in. And it goes out off of TCC. Partain will throw it in for TU. Trying to find Gilliam, knocked over his head. Alberghetti, a nice leap into the air, trying to keep it and heading it in Taylor's favor. Partain steps in front of the pass here, slipping one through to his freshman classmate McBride. Paul to the far side of the field. Here's Mason Brook, the sophomore transfer. Dancing with it, back to his left, taken off the toe. Here comes TCC on a counter up the other way. Ben Boers hustling, getting a toe on it. Looked like it was Andrew Johnson, and it was. And it hits the flag in the far side corner, rolls all the way to the other end. And it's going to result in a throw-in here for Trinity Christian. Grayson Harris along with Wheeland about to check in for Taylor. Thrown to the end line, rolls out, and Taylor will get possession back. So Lair and DeBoer will also return for Trinity Christian. Gilliam checks out. Same thing for Mason Brook of TU. Evan Whitmer out for TCC.
For Taylor, number 2, Josiah Wheeland, and number 9, Grayson Harris.
Same thing for Zach DeCoke. Van Weingard, Gurdon checks out as well. 10:07 remaining second half. Taylor up 3-0. Partain able to keep the ball in. Jersey was tugged, still dishes it off to Wheeland. Partain double teamed, trying to shimmy away from trouble, but it rolls out and goes back to Trinity Christian. Alberghetti heads it to Lynn. Dayhoff to the middle, and Paul McBride. Up to Wheeland, just a little bit late trying to get that ball over to Quinn Partain. Dayhoff hand fighting with Simoes, and the foul called against the Taylor midfielder. Long pass cut off by Hune of Trinity Christian. Timmermans comes in behind and takes it away from Taylor's Paul McBride. Johnson a long pass to Wheeland. Bracketed by defenders. It pops out to the far side. Then Wheeland will be able to try to do some work with it here. Johnson with another interception for Taylor. Partain, Dayhoff, Gallup, and Salako. Less than 8 minutes remaining here in the second half. Taylor up by 3. Goal scorers tonight, Raider, Paul McBride, and Wheeland. Josiah, the first multiple goal scorer for Taylor this season. And here's Partain carrying up the left side as Taylor attacks the goal to our left. McBride Partain a little stepped on Simoes. His left-footed shot wide. Taylor is outshot Trinity Christian tonight by a 9-3 margin. Gallup to midfield. He'll find Alberghetti. Dayhoff will work it back to Partain. And then Gallup will go crossfield and Andrew Johnson. Now Gallup will carry it forward for Taylor. They have just dominated possession tonight. Gallup, a run all the way from the defensive half now into the attacking half. He stops and waits for reinforcements. To Paul McBride to the middle and Peter Lynn. Then back to the middle. McBride will juggle with it and lay it off to Wheeland. Back to Andrew Johnson. 6:06 remaining in the second half. Johnson a high pass to the middle. McBride is there. And almost knocking it away was McBride from Mueller. Sotelo Carrying forward, and then he'll be taken right away by Taylor's Alex Gallup. Lynn to Sulaco. And Taylor just trying to kill as much time as possible here, up by 3 with 5:30 and counting here in the second half. Boers carries forward. Sulaco takes it away. It looks like a foul has been called against Taylor's defender, Charbel Sulaco. The free kick will be taken by the Trinity Christian captain, Chris Kirkhoff. It'll be 28 yards out. On the far left side of the field. Kirkhoff approached with that right foot, a laser beam that sails over the crossbar and out. So Taylor looks to be well on their way to their first win of the year. To get back to 500 at 1-1. Trinity Christian looks like they are going to drop their season opener after winning just 3 games a year ago. McBride up to Wieland. Trying to thread one through to Partain. Cut off by Simowes. And a good job to hold this one in here by Timmermans. Partain takes it away from him. And rolls back in deep with Simowes. Kirkhoff will slide and keep it forward. Dayhoff touches one forward to McBride. Trying to slide it, got it back. Long range shot, bounces up and stopped by Mueller, the keeper. Third or fourth save of the night there for Mueller. 3 have gotten past him. None have gotten past Luke Williams. He has a couple of saves on the night as well. As Evan Whitmer returns for Trinity Christian, he will replace Chris Kirkhoff, their captain. He looks to be grimacing just a little bit as he jogs off the field. Dayhoff into space. Whelan, will he get there in time? No. And then he gets it right back, though. Tried to work it away from Simowes. And then Gallup puts his right foot in there and keeps it going in Taylor's favor. Johnson steps away from trouble. And then he finds Sulaco, then on to Gallup in the Taylor defensive half. 2:17 remaining in regulation. Taylor up 3-0, trying to win their first game of the year. Wieland heading it down to McBride. And then to Lynn. To Dayhoff. And will allow Gallup to take this one. Lynn will left foot this one deep. Partain and Timmermans hustling after it. Partain with the ball at his feet for Taylor along the near sideline, trying to turn in, loses that footing. Dayhoff will touch it in, but too hard. And with 95 seconds remaining in the second half, Trinity Christian will throw it in, trailing Taylor 3-0. Dayhoff steps in front of a pass here. Up to Whelan, trying to touch it over to McBride. Then back in, will be held in here by Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson and the Taylor defenders have had very little work to do here tonight defensively. They've been trying to create and get the offense going and trying to draw TCC out from their packed-in defensive shell. Williams will sprint after this slightly off-target pass in the box. And there's a minute remaining here in the second half. Taylor up by 3. as Dayhoff carries in the middle. Over to Gallup near side. A right-footed pass just across midfield. And Trinity Christian will push this one forward. Left side of the field down by 3. And a late foul called here against Taylor. No cards. Now, we had a couple of cards issued on Saturday evening. And the clock, the enemy of TCC here. Down 3 with almost 20 seconds left. So Tella will take this one for TCC. And that one way over the goal frame. Williams tried to jump for it. Tried to catch himself on the crossbar, then went slipping down inside the mouth. Goal box. The time will run out. Taylor will pick up their first win of the year. They move to 1-1. They defeat Trinity Christian tonight by a final of 3-0. Jeremiah Rader, the senior captain, gets the game-winning goal tonight. He scored less than 4 minutes in. Taylor did not look back after that. Your goal scorers tonight, Rader, McBride, that's Paul McBride, and Josiah Wieland. The Taylor men's soccer team is on the road for the next 3 games. They're back here at home coming up on September 7th. Our next broadcast of Taylor soccer will come up tomorrow. That will be when the women's soccer team gets their season kicked off against the national runners-up from a year ago, the national champions from 2 seasons ago, and the preseason number 3 team in the country. That is the Racers of Northwestern Ohio. Our coverage will start at 6:30 tomorrow, with the pregame show starting at 6:35. The kickoff just after 7. Special thanks to Michaela Hartley for running our camera up top tonight. We thank you folks for tuning in here as well. Taylor evens their overall record here in 2018 to 1-1 with tonight's 3-0 shutout of Trinity Christian, with Jeremiah Rader, Paul McBride, and Josiah Wieland, your goal scorers for Taylor tonight. This has been a presentation of Taylor Men's Soccer here on the Trojan Sports Network. Good night from Upland, Indiana.